Over the weekend, we learned that John Kelly will no longer be Donald Trump's chief of staff next year, and that Nick Ayers had refused to take the position after it was offered to him. So the big question has been, who will Donald Trump name as his next chief of staff? And more importantly, who will accept the job? Now, while covering this story recently, Cenk made a joke about how he wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump named Ivanka as his chief of staff. Well, a new breaking news story by Huffington Post indicates that no, it's unlikely to be Ivanka Trump, but it could very well be his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. So Jared Kushner had a meeting with Donald Trump in his office, in the Oval Office on Wednesday about the position. And according to sources, Kushner has been pushing his own candidacy with Trump.
Of course, he has.
Citing his work on a criminal justice reform package and a claimed ability to work with Democrats, one person said. And then that source also said, I don't know why he thinks that when the Democrats are mainly going to be coming after Trump.
Yeah, okay, it's so sad on a couple of fronts. First of all, your son-in-law is not qualified to, this is not Saudi Arabia, where the king named his son as the crown prince. That's the guy who ordered the chopping up of the journalist, right? You're not supposed to name your son-in-law as your chief of staff. That's crazy talk. Look, I'm disgusted by how much we treat famous people in this country as royalty to begin with, including famous people in politics. And that applies both to the Republicans and the Democrats. Yes, the Bushes. Now they're talking about Jeb Bush's son and how he's some agriculture commissioner in Texas and we're all supposed to care because he's royalty and he's next in line for what? He's next in line for dog catcher. I don't give a damn because his last name ends in Bush. But same with the Clintons. Now they're talking about Chelsea Clinton might run for office. Well, based on what? Based on what? Because she has famous parents? What legislative accomplishments does Chelsea Clinton have? I have nothing against her personally. I'm sure she's a wonderful person personally. But why are we having a conversation about her being a relevant person in politics? Now to have Trump's son-in-law, who knows nothing about politics. Look, it's one thing if your son or daughter was involved in politics all throughout. So for example, Dick Cheney's daughter is now a US congressperson. I can't stand her policy positions. She's a deep right-wing hateful Republican, but she's worked in politics a long time. She earned it, I would argue, to some degree on her own. Yes, her famous last name helped her, but at least she had expertise, she had knowledge. Jared Kushner worked in real estate. He doesn't know anything. He knows nothing about politics. Chief of staff is the second most important position in America in politics. I mean, it's humiliating to do this for the country. Then the second part is, how sad is Donald Trump? He can't find anybody to be chief of staff. Now he's thinking about, oh, I got my son-in-law, maybe I should get a nephew or a cousin. Nobody will do it. If you don't follow politics, it's totally understandable. You got your own job to do. I'm telling you, chief of staff is monumentally important. Monumentally important. That is such a coveted job. People would kill to have the chief of staff job. And nobody wants it because Donald Trump is so toxic.
And I do believe that someone like Jared Kushner would be willing to do Trump's bidding for him. Because remember, one of the reasons why Trump is having a difficult time finding someone who will agree to the job is that it's a miserable job under Trump. It's not about being chief of staff. It's about being Donald Trump's right-hand man, doing whatever he wants. Recent reporting indicated by Politico that Trump wants to pivot away from legislation and focus more on politics. And what do you think he means by that? The politics of his reputation, the politics of fighting back against some of the investigations that he's been dealing with. And so do people really want to deal with that, knowing that Donald Trump is incredibly disloyal to pretty much anyone who works for him, with the exception of his own family members, Ivanka and Jared? And so I think for the purposes of what Donald Trump wants to accomplish, Jared Kushner wouldn't be a bad choice. But for the country, he'd be a horrible choice. But then again, Donald Trump as president of the United States was also a horrible choice for the country.
No, Trump's on borrowed time, guys. Look, I don't know if the reporters just can't say it. I don't know what's holding them back. I know that they're super reserved about speculating on anything, but our job is partly commentary and analysis. So let me do some obvious analysis for you guys. If you can't find a Republican in the country to take the job, that means the Republican Party has decided that Trump's on borrowed time. So, I mean, look, there's a couple of reasons why the job is disastrous, and Anna's right. One reason is Donald Trump wants you to kiss his ass every single day, never veer an inch away from what he says, even if he changes his mind. You know, and which he does all the time. If he says, okay, we're doing X, and then he says the opposite of X, you have to say, yes, X is awesome. The next day you have to turn around and go, X is terrible. And you have to do it with a straight face. Not only do you have to kiss his ass 24/7, which by the way, that's Jared Kushner in a nutshell. I mean, that's basically what he's done as a son-in-law. So okay, check on that. Number two, he will give all the blame to you. He'll say, it's not me, it's my dumb attorney general, it's my dumb chief of staff, it's my dumb lawyer. It's over and over and over again. So you're gonna, but even that would never be enough because humiliation is basically what politicians live in anyway. So, I mean, they are humiliated by their donors every day. Every day they have to beg them for money and their donors tell them what to do and then they carry water for them. It's a pathetic job if you take corporate PAC money. So that's not gonna do it in stopping people from becoming chief of staff. It's obvious that a lot of the Republicans in Washington have decided he's a goner, man. Look, it's in courts, all over the courts. The federal prosecutors say, even if you got no Russia on the hush money to the mistresses alone, he clearly committed a felony. He's on borrowed time. And it's so bad, Republicans won't even take the second most powerful job in the country. That's amazing.
And it could serve, if anyone agrees to it, it could serve as a legal liability as well. Because as we know, Donald Trump has absolutely no regard for the law and on various occasions has asked people close to him to break the law for him. And so, I mean, look, there's nothing on the planet that would convince me to take that job, right? You know, so I think anyone who has two brain cells to rub together, as Cenk says time to time, wouldn't take that job. Jared Kushner, he would take that job. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Jared Kushner is already neck deep anyway. He's got the legal liability to begin with. He was in the Trump Tower meeting. So it's no big deal to him. That's why they're having a real conversation about that possibility, which otherwise would be insanity, absolute insanity. Even Ann Coulter yells at Donald Trump for nepotism when he gives important roles to Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. So conservatives aren't gonna like it either. No, his only option, he can't do that. I mean, but he has no sense at all. He has no idea what he can and can't do. That's why he constantly gets himself in trouble. The only way to go is just go get one of those idiot Freedom Caucus guys. Mark Meadows is the only guy who apparently will take the job.
He's been salivating.
Yeah, and he's begging you all over Fox News. Oh, yeah, I mean, I love the people of Western North Carolina, but I can't wait to get out. Please, Donald Trump, pick me. Just take the guy. It doesn't matter how competent or incompetent. You can't find anybody else. So go to greener meadows, if you will. But I wouldn't put it past Trump to actually pick Kushner because he's too dumb to realize how terrible that looks. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.